Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I have some wonderful news for you. The president of Nigeria, Tinubu, is in the Caribbean. He is making a state visit throughout the OECS, the Organization of the Eastern Caribbean States, to meet with all members of the Eastern Caribbean, which includes Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, Grenada, Dominica, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Montserrat, and associated members, Martinique, Guadeloupe, the British Virgin Islands, and Anguilla. My friends, this is historic. Historic. The first time a president of Nigeria would have visited the OECS in the Caribbean region. And they are making progress, my friends. I want you to have a listen of the reporting of the state visit. Just about a minute and something long. Have a listen of it, and then I will come back and with my analysis. But this is a Nigerian reporter that would have, his name is Osigwe Omo Ikeroda, and have a listen of my brother here reporting on the historic state visit by President of Nigeria, Tinubu.
In the hearts of the Caribbean, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu continues his historic state visit to St. Lucia, where diplomacy meets destiny and history is being written, not just between governments, but between peoples. The day began at the elegant government house perched atop Mount Fortune, where President Tinubu paid a courtesy visit to the Governor General of St. Lucia, Sir Errol Charles. The two leaders exchanged views on the strength of the Commonwealth and explored ways Nigeria and St. Lucia can collaborate on pressing global issues like climate change, socio-economic development, and technical cooperation. President Tinubu reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to strengthening South-South relations, pledging deeper trade engagement across agriculture, tourism, and manufacturing, an effort that benefits both St. Lucians and the good people of Nigeria. From Government House, the Nigerian leader proceeded to the official residence of Prime Minister Philip J. In the hearts of the Caribbean, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu continues his historic state visit to St. Lucia, where diplomacy meets destiny and history is being written, not just between governments, but between peoples. The day began at the elegant government house perched atop Mount Fortune, where President Tinubu paid a courtesy visit to the Governor General of St. Lucia, Sir Errol Charles. The two leaders exchanged views on the strength of the Commonwealth and explored ways Nigeria and St. Lucia can collaborate on pressing global issues like climate change, socio-economic development, and technical cooperation. President Tinubu reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to strengthening South-South relations, pledging deeper trade engagement across agriculture, tourism, and manufacturing, an effort that benefits both St. Lucians and the good people of Nigeria. From Government House, the Nigerian leader proceeded to the official residence of Prime Minister Philip J. Pereira in Castries, where the tone turned from diplomatic to deeply personal. It was here that a powerful and unexpected moment unfolded. Among the catering staff working at the Prime Minister's residence was a young man, Bob Chikwe Mamadi, a Nigerian medical student at the American International Medical University in St. Lucia. Prime Minister Pereira, recognizing the significance, paused the official proceedings to introduce Bob to President Tinubu as the proud son of Nigeria living and studying in the Caribbean. The president warmly greeted Bob, asked about his background and well-being, and wished him success in his medical journey. A group photo followed, and for Bob Amadi, who has lived on the island for 10 years, it was a once-in-a-lifetime moment. This is a very inspiring moment for me, Bob said. St. Lucia is a calm and contented society. I have always believed that the connection between St. Lucia and Nigeria runs deep. in our food, in our culture, in our spirit. Back in the diplomatic room, President Tinubu and Prime Minister Perel jointly reaffirmed their commitment to establishing formal diplomatic relations between Nigeria and St. Lucia, describing it as a bridge between Africa and the Caribbean. From education to entertainment, from agriculture to climate change, the two leaders agreed to foster stronger ties and unlock new frontiers for economic, cultural, and people to people exchange. President Tinubu stated, our nations are bound by history and common aspirations. This is not just diplomacy, it is destiny. Prime Minister Perel echoed the vision, citing historical figures like Sir Danny Alexander, a St. Lucian who once served as Chief Justice of Nigeria, and St. Lucia's growing global influence in culture and tourism. He reaffirmed his government's goal to ensure one university graduate per household and expressed optimism about partnering with Nigeria to expand educational horizons. From the corridors of Government House to the hopeful highs of a Nigerian student in Castries, President Tinubu's visit is charting a new course for both nations and for generations to come. Reporting from St. Lucia, this is Osugomo Ikiroda for iReporter Online.
Yes, my friends, this was reported from St. Lucia by the Nigerian reporter Osigwe, who did a wonderful job in his reporting. How did you like the audio? I did a little upgrade in the audio because many of you said that sometimes I play audio clips and you're not hearing. So let me know if you heard that loud and clear and what you think about the audio. Now, President Tinubu is in St. Lucia right now, and President Tinubu made a historic state visit to St. Lucia starting on the 28th of June. He will be staying until tomorrow, my friends, marking a landmark moment in Nigeria and the Caribbean diplomacy for OECS cooperation. Now, the OECS is made up of 7 island states. And what did he achieve? What did they achieve so far? I will let you know exactly what was achieved so far. Let me get this information for you. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's visit to St. Lucia has presented several opportunities for closer ties between the OECS and Nigeria. The OECS is the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, which includes Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, Dominica, St. Lucia, Grenada, Dominica, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Initiatives underway. These are agreements that will be agreed upon with these 7 OECS countries and Nigeria. A visa waiver agreement for holders of diplomatic and official passports from OECS member states. Why not everybody? So they have waived the visas for diplomatic passport holders and official passport holders. These are like government ministers and government officials. But I want to see this extended to the ordinary people so that we can travel to Nigeria visa free. So this is something, but it's a start and it's better than nothing at all. But it should have been a total visa waiver agreement, not just for government officials but for everybody. This was also agreed upon scholarships to citizens of OECS member countries. So Nigeria will provide scholarships to citizens of OECS member countries. Services of the Nigerian Technical Aid Corps, TAC, to OECS countries. St. Lucia and the Federal Republic of Nigeria will formalize diplomatic relations to establish a structured framework for exploring and advancing cooperation across a broader range of mutual mutually beneficial areas. Yes, my friends, this is significant because I have been saying on this channel all this time, it is time for us to bridge the gap between the African continent and the African diaspora. So this is good news, my friends. Some of you may be asking, what are the rights of the OECS member states, the 7 countries that I mentioned before? These are the rights that the OECS member states have. They have access to primary and secondary school education throughout the whole OECS, indefinite stay. Any member of an OECS country have indefinite stay when traveling to another member state. No work permits when traveling to another member state. Access to social security, access to social safety nets and social protection, and all of the above. And the 7 participating members are Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, Grenada, Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines. I didn't know Montserrat. We could have traveled to Montserrat and stayed how long we want in Montserrat. But any member state can go to Montserrat and stay indefinitely. They can work without a work visa as well. Montserrat is a British overseas territory. So I'm surprised that this is allowed. But I guess Montserrat is trying now to build up its population after the devastation of the volcano that affected the island many years ago. Back to the story at hand, my friends. What are the areas of cooperation? Tinubu and the OECS agreed to build partnerships in trade, investment, tourism, education, culture, agriculture, manufacturing, disaster resilience, climate change, consular services. Nigeria will advocate for SIDS and work with St. Lucia on Commonwealth-led climate and development initiatives. Cultural and educational exchange. Tinubu highlighted shared African Caribbean heritage, drawing on the legacy of Sir Darnley Alexander, former Nigerian CJ, and mid-19th century migration. He visited Sir Arthur Lewis Community College to deepen academic links, especially with the 4Ds framework: democracy, development, diaspora, and demography. Why does this matter, my friends? Historic diplomacy, second African leader on state visit since Mandela in 1998. Strategic partnership. St. Lucia is OECS headquarters and CARICOM gateway. Common GDP surpasses US $130 billion. So the headquarters of the OECS is in St. Lucia. South-South cooperation between the Caribbean and Africa reinforces Nigerians' African Union's 6th region diplomacy, directly engaging the African diaspora. Economic boost potential opens new pathway for Nigeria and OECS members in trade, tourism, culture, and education. What's next, you may ask? Finalize diplomatic ties, embassies and missions expected to be established soon. This is good news. Launch of joint initiative in agriculture, education, tourism, climate resilience, and cultural programming. Nigeria will proceed to Brazil for BRICS Summit, June 2025, leveraging this momentum. This visit marks a turning point in transatlantic relations, reaffirming Nigeria's leadership in Africa, Caribbean engagement and strengthening bonds between the two regions grounded in shared heritage and economic promise and diplomatic visions, my friends. This is wonderful news coming out of the Eastern Caribbean and Nigeria. Breaking news, my friends. Let me know what you think about this topic. If you're watching for the first time, please consider subscribing to this channel. The mission of my channel, Beyond Uncut, is to bridge the gap between the African continent and the African diaspora. We are one people separated by a brutal transatlantic slave trade and colonialism. But we're coming back together as one. On this channel, I react to breaking news that affect the African continent and Caribbean nation islands, which is a part of the whole African diaspora. I release videos every day reacting to breaking news that affect our people worldwide. And to become a member of my channel, you can sign up and become a member of this channel by clicking the link in this description box and join my channel and become a channel member. You can also subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it with all your friends and family, and comment your thoughts and opinion. All of that will be showing support to the channel, and I will greatly appreciate all of the support I can get. You can also make a donation to the channel by leaving a super chat in the comment section. Some people do that, and those are greatly appreciated, my friends. Thank you for watching this video. If you're watching for the first time, I want you to subscribe to my channel now and become a channel member. Let me know what you think about this topic of this historic trip by Nigeria to the Eastern Caribbean to formalize diplomatic relations. My name is Beyond. This is Beyond Uncut. Thank you for watching today, and I will see you tomorrow in the next video. Much love and bye-bye.